All right, everybody, this is Chris with Drop Dice. We're back again with Legend of the Five Rings. This is part 2 of the series. Let me go ahead and go down the line and let everybody introduce themselves. Let's go ahead and start with Murdoch playing Kikita Toshiro. Now you're muted. Okay, little technical error here. Moving along, we have Miyamoto Kaji being played by Tom.
Hello everyone, Tom here, playing the ever-lovable Miyamoto Kaji. I mean, not much else to say about myself. Still down in New York, still making games, still loving what I do.
Okay, moving along. We have Nate playing Yogo Shinsei.
Hello everyone, I am Nate. Yogo Shinsei is a scorpion, and there's not much more to him.
Okay. And then we have Jeremy playing Kimura Dietrich.
Hello. Jeremy here. I don't say much else.
All right, and lastly we have Brendan playing C. Tsubasa.
Hello. What he said. I'm gonna make swords and stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna get this stuff down eventually.
All right,
let's
let's
see.
introductions.
Yeah, we got some.
Success.
We got some volume again. Okay, so let's go.
I know I don't get to introduce myself.
Yeah, go ahead.
No.
Hi.
Okay.
Terrible.
We'll figure it out.
Bender is great.
Apparently so. All right, so in one of my previous videos, I mentioned if you want to join us on Dino Island 7, this is my second call out. We need more people in our tribe on Ark so you can gather stuff and help build awesome stuff.
We need gathering slaves.
You can build stuff too, but we definitely need gathering. Aside from the purely selfless call out that I just did there. Let's talk about what happened last week. So you guys were at Toshi Rambo and you met the governor, who you guys kind of found out is a little weird. First off, he likes sumo wrestling, which was kind of neat. For some of you, that may have been the first time you've seen that, and that's Otomo Kirino is the Lord Governor there. You've also poked around the house and met some of the others that are part of the household there. And some of the Jade Magistrates that are around, in particular Akiko and Akato from the Phoenix Clan. Do any of you have anything you'd like to add to that?
No.
Okay.
That sums it up pretty well.
So
Met the lion.
that is true. You did also meet the Lion Diplomat, who you guys are slowly kind of beginning to trust a little bit, because he generally seems like a pretty honorable guy. And that's Matsu Kazuma. All right, so the previous evening was the sumo match, and you guys got to watch that and enjoy it. You also witnessed the gift
Not
giving.
all of us.
Correct. Not all of you. Some of you did poke around instead. You also witnessed the gift giving. There were some suspicious gifts inside there. One of which was the Jade Lion. You know that Matsu Sama there was probably giving that gift on purpose to kind of feel out the Lord Governor, which you all kind of got a feeling for. And if you recall correctly, his reception of the gift was not the greatest, and in fact one of the gifts he straight rejected, which was Kimura Dietrich's ship in a bottle.
Bastard.
It is the next morning. You guys have awoken, and the servants are moving about the castle right now, and they are basically setting up for the morning. When you come out of your rooms, you're going to see servants basically cleaning the floors, doing different work around the house. There seems to be some carpenters that came in, and they're repairing one of the rooms in the back.
Is that around the area where I looked last night, or is that a different part of the palace?
It is actually generally that same direction where you found those rice stores.
So it's essentially the off-limits areas, right?
Mm-hmm. You can see them kind of coming in and out because they're bringing fresh wood into the house. Or at least you can see their journeymen, their apprentices and things like that, bringing in the wood supplies and stuff. The house was actually pretty early to rise, which normally in castle life you guys are used to kind of getting up when you feel like kind of deal. This place seems to be on a more regimented schedule, which, given the way everything else inside Toshi Rambo is going right now, it's not entirely a surprise that that even here in the castle that there would be some sort of strict rules and things like that. I believe you guys were talking about possibly going out in town the next day. You guys do have kind of a free day to do what you want. The proceedings for peace talks are not to start until tomorrow evening.
I am. I'll take the essential invitation to explore Toshi Rambo while I'm here.
Okay.
I mean, to anyone in the room, when we were all there, I'll offer to, if people want to go out and see the town, I'll offer to give them a tour since I know my way around.
I'll take him up on that.
I will join you with
Project
that.
once.
It's always good to learn from a local.
So our pictures just shifted. It looks like Murdoch had to cycle and come back in, so he'll be here in just a second. We just switch this over to the other view. That way everybody's in single pictures and I don't have screwy names going on here. All right. So you're talking about going and visiting Toshi Rambo, seeing the sights and things like that. So for Toshi Rambo, there are a couple things that you guys would possibly be interested in checking out. One of which is the quarter where the Sea have made their home. It's a craftsman's. It's like a whole craftsman's quarter. They make all sorts of different things inside there. It's pretty popular for tourists just because you don't have a whole lot of things quite like that inside other cities. And it's not too terribly far from the castle itself. Just kind of like a brisk walk through town and you'll make it there.
And it would be acceptable for me to actually like bring them in, since
It absolutely would. It would be kind of the merchants' quarter area is really where the Sea have set up. But it would be completely fine for you to go ahead and bring them in. And it's just open merchant quarters and artisans and things like that are in the area. In fact, it would be kind of a pride point for you to kind of show what your family does. There are some areas that you maybe would not take them within Toshi Rambo. Let me just pull something real quick here. All right. So one of the places that you'd probably consider maybe not taking them, at least at first, is if you guys pull up the Toshi Rambo link. There is some information directly from the wiki about the city of Toshi Rambo. When you scroll a little bit further towards the bottom, there are some notable locations, and one of those is going to be the House of the White Chrysanthemum, which would be probably one of the few areas that you would not take them. It is the Otomo Orator Dojo, but it is also a it's a location that's a little restricted, and so it wouldn't be kind of a guest taking location. One of the places that you would consider taking them to, because it's very famous, is the Jade Pearl Inn, which is a tea house that is sometimes used by the Scorpion for information gathering, so Yogo Shinsei will recognize the name when he hears it. But the other thing that's important about it is that it happens to be a location where the sea conduct a lot of business. So when you go there, you're going to see like family members that are sitting down with clients and things like that to a cup of tea and discussing what work they're looking for to have done.
Okay, so I'll take them to the merchant quarter first since it's so close.
Okay.
And I'll take. You came as well, right, Nate?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was making a joke earlier. He smiles under his mask and he humbly rejects your offer of a gift.
Oh.
You do it twice more and he goes with you, laughing.
Okay. He'll take special pride in showing you the works of all his different family members and the people they work with.
Yeah, around the city there are quite a few different like statues and things like that you guys can attribute to the sea. And as you walk through the city, you can tell where battle scars have happened in the past through different like back and forths of the city's possession. But you can see where it's been rebuilt and things like that. Some homes are definitely older than others, and others look pretty much brand new because they were from the last skirmish battle. And as you're going through the city, you're going to notice that the citizens themselves are once again kind of limited on their means because of the time of day that you're heading out. You're going to notice that the guards have come out to the main city square, which you're going to pass on your way to the marketplace, and they're handing out the bowls of rice staple for the week. Which, if you guys remember last week, I was telling you that basically it's a small ceramic bowl that that they allow you to fill, and that is the rice for your household. So it's not honestly anywhere near enough for most families, let alone some of these people who have like 4 or 5 children. Because the Henin or peasant class is pretty much known to have a lot of kids because that's what they need to survive on farms and things like that. So
Also, they're Catholic.
So, Murdoch, you're coming back in. They're heading to the marketplace right now, just to kind of walk around and see the village. Once you guys make it to the marketplace, it is an open marketplace, but it's a little bit different than some of the other ones that you've been to. This one is very welcoming of the samurai class. It's mainly artisans that are here. It's not a classic, here's where you go to buy blankets and pottery type of market. This is more of a lavish end market. And so if you have any ideas on what you'd like to look for or anything like that, I can tell you what kind of artists are in the area. If you have an idea to get any sort of gifts, this would be an appropriate place to look for such things. In fact, there's a couple antique dealers, which are usually a pretty good place to find gifts.
I actually will go look for a gift for my wife.
Okay. Now, are you looking for something that would be like a court-appropriate gift where you're going to have a story with it, or is it just something sentimental that you're going to give to your wife?
Something sentimental.
Okay. What do you have in mind?
Just from the Mantis clan and the Kitsune family, so anything really related to the Mantis, boats, boxes.
Okay.
Something I think she might enjoy on her mantelpiece.
Okay. So you walk around, and there is a young man that he's an artisan, and see, you'll recognize him as another member of the C family. He's a very young man. He's working on wood crafting as his trade, but he's extremely novice in it right now. One of the things that he has proven quite good at, actually, is doing small decorative boxes. And he prides himself on being able to make them absolutely useless by making them so small. They're like straight-up tchotchkes. They have no purpose. You couldn't put a thimble inside them if you wanted to, kind of thing. And that's what Yogo has taken a fancy to, is these absolutely useless boxes. You're able to find one that it has what appears to be the life cycle of a mantis, like wood burned along the edges of this box, and then it's got a mantismon right on top. He's got a couple of them with like each clan, so there are other ones here. So if any of you take a liking to what I'm describing, there is one for your clan here, and it's the life cycle of the bird or the animal that represents your clan.
Would they have the Bat Clan?
They do not, but if you were to ask, he would be able to craft you one. He has major clans, I should say.
That's what I figured.
The
Actually-
particular one that catches Yogo's fancy is about 2 inches by 1 inch. Absolutely useless.
Oh, that's impressive, though. I like it.
Like, if you
Uh,
open it up, though, and you look inside, he's got it set up, and this is the first time that any of you have opened the box, so this is the first time you would have noticed it. When you open it up, it looks like an amphitheater, and there's a little stage inside there. And it's a wonder how he was able to build this tiny little thing inside there. It looks like there's a play going on. You can see these little tiny figurines inside there, and it looks like all the seats are filled. It took an immense amount of work for him to do this.
How old is this kid?
He's about
How-
14. He just finished his Ginpaku ceremony, so he is considered an adult, but he's, like I said, very in profession.
What would be an appropriate way to address him as somebody who doesn't know him? Or really...
Sama would be the appropriate thing to add at the end, or San would actually be a little bit
Okay.
more appropriate since he's younger than you.
Also, I would properly introduce you to him as well.
Okay.
If you wanted to, you could refer to him with a childish term afterward, and it would be mildly acceptable since he is younger than you, but it would still be a little insulting since he is an adult.
A little bit condescending, yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. What was his name again?
His name is. Let me see here. He is a C, so if you want to just refer to him as like C-san, that would be appropriate.
Okay. See, son, this... Your craftsmanship is remarkable.
He kind of like smiles a little bit, but catches himself, and he looks down and he says, "I only wish to show my respect for my family. My works are to my clan." And he kind of goes back to etching what he was etching, and he's trying not to let the praise get to his head, but he's very young, so you can kind of tell that it
Yep.
kind of is.
Yogo's going to turn to Tsubasa and he'll... Your works do your family proud.
His skill has increased greatly. He's going to provide a lot for our family.
I'm sure he will. Yeah, how much... Oh, actually... Handling money. Etiquette.
Hmm.
Is it... How appropriate... Can I just ask how much it is?
So the appropriate answer is no.
Okay.
Samurai do not discuss money. You usually will have a person who would be basically a major domo who would go out and make the purchase for you.
Mm-hmm.
Since you are staying in the castle, there is a gentleman who would take care of that for you, which would be the one you met last week. Let me pull him up one more time. Wotaka, the house servant. He would make the purchase for you. But what you would do to basically make the merchant aware that you were purchasing it is you would set it to the side and tell him that you would send somebody for it.
Okay. I'll ask him to do so. With the little mantis one, and I'll try to find one for the phoenix as well. For mother.
You're able to. He's been producing these, and they're all basically the same. Each one's a little bit different. When you open the Phoenix one, there's actually a little ballerina.
That works for them.
And if you start looking at the other boxes, there are other boxes that have other things inside of them, but those are the ones that specifically catch your eye.
Yeah. Those two would be wonderful.
Okay. Does anybody else have a desire to look at his works?
I'll let curiosity get the better of me and peer inside the dragon one.
Okay. When you open the dragon one, this one is the most interesting one to you because it's different. It's empty. It has no ornateness to it at all. It's just a simple empty box. And it speaks profoundly to you because you're an enlightened individual.
Kaji will laugh when he sees that.
There are other dragon boxes. This just happens to be the first one that you open. There are other dragon boxes that have things inside of them, but this is the most amusing one to you.
It means something. This is the first one.
Yep. So, Yeah, I'll take this one.
Okay.
So, don't know if I have any like proper retainers or anything, so I may just have to like do it directly.
So your clan does operate a little bit differently when it comes to marketplace things because you are very detached to your people operate. You normally would make this purchase yourself, but you have seen how Yogo handled it himself, which is to say that he will be sending someone. If you wanted to send someone, you know that most of the time whoever greeted you and brought you to your room in the castle is basically designated as your servant while staying there. So it would be appropriate for you to send them.
Okay. I'll let them know I'll send someone for this as well.
Okay. Okay. So, unfortunately, my computer is running a little slow here. Let me refresh a window real quick. All right. So, yeah, you guys are kind of poking around the marketplace. Was there anything that anybody else was interested in looking at, checking out, or anything like that? Or doing while you're here if you happen to be an artisan? Go ahead, Kikita.
I actually want to head to the Jade Pearl Tea House.
Okay. Not a problem. So, are you planning on taking them there? Because I'll have you guys meet up after.
Yeah, they
Absolutely not.
doing the market place first too. But
yeah,
I'll
he's
eventually take
going to
them
the
tea
marketplace.
house.
I was just curious if that's where he was going next because he expressed interest in it. So Kikita, you go to the the Jade Pearl House there. So you're at the tea house, and are you looking for anyone in particular, or are you just
Rokai.
kind of? What's that?
Rokai.
Rokai. Okay. If you can refresh me on that real quick.
He's the Iron Fan leader.
Okay. So, you would know of Rokai by legend and what his described appearance is, not necessarily a good solid understanding of who exactly he is. There is a gentleman that matches his description here. He is said to keep a very neat trim beard, which is uncommon for the samurai class, and he keeps his hair uncut and or untrimmed and wild, which is also very uncommon for someone of samurai class. He himself used to be within the Bushi portion of the samurai caste. However, since joining the Iron Fans, he's cut his hair and maintained his appearance much like the Hinin that he protects. So this guy seems like he would probably be a close match, but he's not wearing anything that would give him away as a warrior.
I'll head over to him.
Okay.
I'll ask him, essentially, about the people in town. I'll strike up conversation in a benign way about the people in town with this person, trying to get a feel for if this is him or not.
Okay. Go ahead and RP that for me, because that kind of depends on how you handle the situation with responses.
How is he sitting? Is he sitting?
He's sitting down, and he has a simple matcha tea, which is actually pretty cheap tea when it comes to like purchase value and things like that. It's what a peasant would drink.
Okay. Is this more of a lower class tea house, or is
Not
this
at
more
all.
of a?
This is actually some of the better like artisans visit here and conduct business here. There also happens to be a valid amount of prostitutes that come through here, or geisha,
Okay.
that come through here and conduct business.
Then I will not approve. I assumed that it was a lower class, because he's supposed to conduct meetings here. So I will sit an appropriate distance, or sit at an appropriate location for someone of my station, and keep an eye on the tea house
Okay.
to see if I can see these meetings that he's supposed to be having.
Okay.
that are
Um,
rumored.
So you sit down in the section that is more reserved for the nobility. The way that this tea house works is it is very unlike many other tea houses within Rukagon. This one actually has kind of designated sections. It does cater to all types of customers. And there are sections where you could sit where you would intermingle with Etta and Henna, but it would be inappropriate of your station. So it does make sense that you would go sit with the other samurai cast, which are mainly closer towards the bar where the tea is being made. There are screened-in rooms. I assume you're keeping yours open so that you can keep an eye on him.
Yes.
Okay. That's not all that uncommon. You'll be sitting down and he'll drink his tea, and you won't see anybody coming in just yet. As you're drinking, the twins will actually enter the room with you. They have come from another sealed off room inside here. You're going to see a man slink out of the room that they are leaving in just ahead of them, and then they will come inside the room, and they will ask if they can join you. Specifically, again, just like last time, Akiko is the one who speaks for the most part. The brother does pretty much always seem to remain tight-lipped. If you had to guess, you're starting to think he might be mute.
Akiko, the Phoenix clan.
Mm-hmm.
They're asking to join me.
Yes, she has walked up and she stood in the doorway and she says, "Kikita-sama, if it would please you, my brother and I would like to join you."
It would please me greatly to sit with people of such esteemed honor. Please.
Okay. She will enter, and it's appropriate. And you did it when you came in. She'll take off her sandals, and she comes in and set them to the side, and then she'll bring forward a kneeling pad from just underneath the table and take a seat. Her brother will do the same. You can tell that he's a little uncomfortable just in general, but he always seems to kind of have this like stiff rigidness to him, so it doesn't feel too off from what he is. She'll take a seat and she will say to you, "Kikita-sama, you expressed interest in the investigation. While we are limited in what we can tell you about the investigation into Lord Otomo, we thought that you might find it interesting that should a replacement be necessary, there has been one deemed. Otomo has a cousin here who leads the Legion, just outside of town. Tessai Otomo Daisetsu. He's a large man, very, very well known for his battle acumen. If you are interested in finding more information, excuse me, I just realized my wiki tried to play an ad. There we go. If you are interested in finding out more information about the situation, he may be able to provide you with information that I am not able to." And she kind of smiles coyly at you, because you can tell that she's basically skirting the rules of what she can do by giving you this information. She'll pour you tea while she's there, and she's effectively conducting a tea ceremony if you let her.
Yeah. I will not interrupt her. I feel that it would be rude.
Okay. Since you are letting her, as she pours you glasses of tea, she will feed you a little bit more information. It's kind of encoded in the way that she's saying things, but you're able to basically decipher out a couple major points of what she's saying. Basically, she believes that that there is some sort of foul force on the castle right now that's worth investigating. But she tells you that she's giving a warning to be careful yourself. She knows that you have a duty and you cannot avoid the castle entirely, but she's basically telling you to watch yourself and maintain purity of soul. She will also tell you that that there is talks that there will be a coup if a peaceful negotiation is not met and the people are not freely fed again. As she tells you this one, you're going to see that across the way, Rokai, or at least the man who appears to be Rokai, two individuals will sit with him. One of which you think you recognize, and you will instantly recognize him once he takes his seat and he removes his hat. It looks like Wotaka. The other gentleman that's sitting with him is a young man. He appears to be a crane from the looks of him. If you had to guess, he's probably a Daidoji. And he seems to be a swordsman. Just the way he carries himself. You grew up around a household that was very active within the Kikita school. And so you are able to recognize swordsmen by the way that they walk and carry themselves, because they do carry themselves slightly different. He does appear to be a swordsman, but he does appear to be something a little bit different. Like he's not formally trained in court swordsmanship. It's more like war, active tactics type swordsmanship, which you can pick up on pretty easy because of your background. She'll also tell you something during that time, but your brain kind of drifts over and watches that, and so you only catch like the tail end of it. She mentioned something about taint, and it kind of, once she says that, it kind of brings you right back in, because it's very uncommon for anybody to just blatantly say
Correct.
the word taint.
I'll look at her quizzically when she says the word taint.
She, her brother, like, instantly, like, stares at her, and she kind of, like, blushes a little bit, and she says, "Excuse me, I meant to say unclean. The house seems to be not very well kept up with. I would suggest that you bring your own servant to clean your room for you."
I'll as time, I will pull out a fan, and I will be like, "Yes, I have noticed the house is very unclean. In the times of my my schooling with the crab, I have learned to call this a taint as well. Though, assuredly different than the taint that would plague people."
Okay. So the brother will instantly shift his gaze to look at you now. So normally it is appropriate to speak behind a fan. However, in a tea house, they say that the walls have ears. So speaking behind a fan is not inherently a safety measure like it is when you are in the castle.
Yeah.
So he is going to get up, look at both of you like sternly, and then immediately walk out, not saying a word. She looks really embarrassed, and she says, "Kikita-sama, I apologize for my brother's behavior. He seems to have fallen ill since we have arrived. Please forgive me. I must see to him." And she kind of bows, and she waits for you to properly excuse her.
I will properly excuse her and say that I hope to see her again.
Okay.
Giving her the coy, "Come to my room later."
Okay. She will grab her shoes, and she will basically just barely toss them on as she leaves the room, which is a sign that she's a little disheveled by the whole back and forth that just happened there. And she chases down her brother, which you'll see her catch up to him outside. And your suspicions are confirmed. He will move his hands a little bit, and she will kind of nod, and then she will kind of look down. And it does seem that he is mute, or at least he has limited communication as far as verbal communication. So you have that a little bit confirmed, at least as far as who he is. Which is interesting, because usually Shugenjas have a lot of verbal stuff that has to happen when they cast.
Okay.
So that may be something that you might be interested in finding out about out of pure, simple curiosity.
After that, I will get up properly, and I will head over to the other table with the Daijotsu and Daijoji and Watako.
Okay. As you approach the table, Wataka will see you, and he will tense. Now that he's tensed, you can see he has the form of a warrior. He has sat up. The whole time that you've seen him, he has always kind of stood like this, where he's very relaxed. Now that he's stood up, you can see that he has a very well-defined warrior's build still, regardless of his age. He's got a hand on the table, and you see the man that you believe to be Rokai put his hand over his cup, and then Wotaka will instantly meet eyes with the individual you believe to be Rokai, and he will start to kind of sink a little bit back in his chair. He's still got his posture up, but he's not holding the table like he's going to throw it at you anymore.
My apologies for interrupting. May I please join you?
The Daidoji looks over to you, and you can tell he's actually a fairly young man. He has iconic white hair that you find amongst the crane. He's kept his scarf on his head the whole time he's been sitting, and he says, "I'm sorry. This is a private matter. Though you are my cousin, I unfortunately am here for reasons that I cannot share."
I understand. I thought we shared similar interests of helping the people of Toshi Rambo.
Unfortunately, that is not what has brought me to Toshi Rambo. I'm
No,
here on
I'm
a family
saying this.
matter.
I'm saying this to the table. I don't look specifically at Daijoji.
The other two are remaining quiet. Daidoji's actually just responding to you directly. He says, "Unfortunately, I am not here for the citizenry of Toshi Rambo. I am here on a family matter."
I see. Well, if you decide that my unique abilities could be of use to you, or that maybe we could share information, please feel free to contact me. I'm sure I'm not hard to find. And then I will bow politely and leave.
Okay. As you walk away, if you would like, you may make a awareness check for me.
Uh, 15.
Okay. With a 15, you are able to hear that he addresses the gentleman as Rokai, so that your assumptions were correct. And he has Wotaka with him. He begins to talk to him, and the conversation, you're only able to catch kind of glimpses of it because you're trying not to linger too much because you don't want to be caught eavesdropping. It would be impolite. You hear that they are discussing Sumitaru and his suspicious death. That appears to be why this Daidoji is here, and you find out his name is Daidoji Osano. After hearing the conversation, you feel that he may be the Daidoji family have bounty hunters. You feel that he may be a bounty hunter, which kind of explains his kind of blunt reactions, because bounty hunters are usually straight to business.
I appreciate that. Having spent time in the Crablands, I understand the need for bluntness. I'll push that information off or put that information filed aside, and I will. There were two other Emerald Magistrates besides the Phoenix, correct?
There were. So, the Emerald Magistrates, let me pull up my chat log, because now I'm forgetting what I said they were, and I think we have them written down.
I believe it was a Crane, 2 Phoenixes, and now I can't remember the last one.
I believe the last one was actually a dragon, if I recall correctly. We are going to say, let me write it down on the chat log, because apparently I did not put it there. That way I have it written down.
No,
Flip it
for
with
it.
it was a dragon.
So 2 Phoenix,
It is a dragon.
Crane, and a dragon. Okay, so yes, the other two would be the crane and the dragon. So, if you would like to look for them, you definitely can. The dragon is actually from the Tamori, which Miyamoto Kaji would have recognized. And then the crane is a blah blah blah
Doji,
blah
you
blah. Yes, a doji.
I'll actually attempt to seek out the doji, but you can.
Okay. So for the rest of you, you've kind of perused the marketplace. As far as other things that might catch your attention, Komori, you find
Yeah.
something that does catch your attention because it reminds you of something that your grandfather has held with him pretty much since he's arrived here. You've never seen another set of things like this. It's what your grandfather refers to as utensils. They're just these strange objects. He has a fork and a knife, is what you've learned of what they are. He carries them with him all the time. You found one that is not like the two that he has. He has a fork and knife. What you find is a spoon that is not the traditional spoon that you're used to for soup around here. It's kind of a weird shape. It's not angled correctly like a spoon would be for like soups and things.
Okay.
The merchant that has it, he has a lot of strange baubles and things like that, and he does have a couple gaijin things, but because your grandfather has always been very particular about carrying his utensils with him everywhere, this is the thing that kind of caught your attention.
Huh.
When you inspect it, it does seem to be made of a metal, not steel. It's a little flimsy to be steel. If you had to guess, probably like a nickel or aluminum or something like that.
As I'm looking at it, I'll just state out loud while not even look. I'll just say out loud. You carry you no, sorry. You carry strange things here.
Yes, my friend. I come from a different land. The land of the Crescent is far, far away. I've brought many things with me on my travels.
I've heard tales of the Crescent Sands.
Ah, you honor me. Please, see my wares. And he kind of waves you in, and he's got a lot of fine carpets and things like that here. The more you look around, the more gaijin things you're seeing inside his store. He obviously is not a very popular merchant. People are generally avoiding him. But there are random curious people that come up and they don't actually enter his stall. They just kind of look in. And his stall is very different than the other ones around. It's basically it's built using a couple sets of poles, and he has like blankets and tapestries that are just kind of draped around it like a tent.
That's what I figured. Yeah, no, I'm totally gonna go in and check it out.
Okay. When you come in, he has a monkey, which because you went to school with the mantis, you know what a monkey is. They're generally not appreciated on ships because they're troublemakers. And this monkey is no different. He is like moving around the store, like picking up random shit and moving it around. And the stall, it kind of smells of like a deep musky smoke that you're not familiar with.
All right. Monkeys, troublemakers.
Yes,
Always,
Sajin
getting
can
the-
be, but I would be nowhere without my friend. He like throws a nut, and then the monkey like jumps out of the air and catches it.
You not very popular. Not many. I've not seen many people come in.
Popular, no, but I travel. I make my wares I sell my wares where it is acceptable. So far, Toshi Rambo has been quite kind to me. I believe I am almost close to my goal of being able to move on to the next city. I'm thinking that the dragon have something nice for me to discover next. He is quite fluent with the Rukigan tongue.
Yeah.
Albeit he seems to be a little confused about how to phrase things. Like, he says the land of the Crescent. It should be referred to as the Crescent Empire.
Yeah.
And like the way he say but we're in opposite order. Like, instead of saying the land of the Dragonlands, he says land of the dragon, stuff like that.
I'll make note of it, but I won't. It would be rude. I know it would be rude to point that out to him.
Mm-hmm. The other thing you're going to notice about him is he is almost too friendly, is kind of the best way to put it. He keeps his hands open and lets you see his palms at all times. And when he asks you to come further, he does like this move, and he always keeps his hands very visible the whole time you're talking to him. It's a very strange mannerism that you're not familiar with. Usually, Rukagani citizens will often tuck their hands in their sleeves when they have nothing better to do with them. He talks with his hands, and he tends to keep them completely visible for you the whole time. So these are some different mannerisms that he has. His monkey's name is Sajin, and after a little bit, you are able to learn that his name is Maji. Or at least that's as close as you can get to saying his name correctly. After kind of working with him a little bit, you find out that there should be a T at the end of that, so it's Majit.
Yeah. I mean, I will try. I'll definitely try my best to give him a proper, give him respect and try to pronounce his name properly.
Okay.
Because I understand not as many people can pronounce my name properly. I also will make sure to introduce myself.
When you say your first name, if you will, your actual adult name, Dietrich, he will kind of recognize it at first, and he'll look at you and he'll go, but not Eisen. And he gets closer to you, and he kind of like he will attempt to put his hand on your face, and then he'll remember where he is, and he'll pull his hand back.
Yeah, as he does, I mean, I'll just lean back a bit, but I won't like look annoyed by it. I'll look amused by his mannerisms of trying to touch my face.
He'll pull his hand back, and he'll kind of look, and he goes, "Your eyes are."
Yes, that is was it? That was essentially a gift from my grandfather.
No, they're more like these. He kind of stumbles with the word for a minute. Rukagani, and he kind of holds his hands up, and he looks around to make sure he's not offending anybody, and he goes like this a little.
I'll give a bit of a chuckle towards that.
It's weird that he notices that your eyes are more slanted than they are round, which is usually what you get the opposite of. Because of the region of the world he's from, you're in between both cultures. So for him, he notices that it's the opposite way.
Funny, most people would tell me that my eyes are more like more round. And I'll put like a circle over my eyes.
He starts laughing and he goes, "Come. I have a gift for you from my home, please." And he'll take you back, and there's like this small table. It's a little wooden table, and on it he's got this it's a teapot, but it's nothing like you've ever seen before. It's like this metal thing, and it's kind of tall. It's very black hot tea. Hot tea is like warm. It's not hot. This stuff is like hot. And
Coffee.
And he'll try and hand it to you.
And
yes, it is totally coffee.
Yeah, no. I will. You know what? No, I for the sake of friendship, I will try it.
Okay. He takes a big swig of it. You're able to just barely get like a little sip, and it is so bitter. It is nothing like what you've ever had before. You're used to like sweet foods and things like that, or like very light flavors. The thing is just obscenely strong bitter taste. It is a straight like Turkish style coffee. It is black and harsh and unforgiving.
I will try my best not to cough it out. But I will say it's kind of strong.
He smiles and he goes, "Yes, it's good, yes." And he takes another drink. You're not sure if he misunderstood you or if he just thinks that strong means good.
So is this kind of a tradition, or is this like a regular thing most would drink?
No, this is like your tea. It is from my land. It's what we drink. It is good for the heart. And he kind of touches his chest. And now that he's mentioning it, you can kind of feel your heartbeat. Like you never had anything quite as strong as coffee. So you're like, oh wow, okay.
I'm feeling the effects of caffeine. Oh my god.
Well, he's not nearly as strong as coffee, so
Yeah.
he goes, if you want, I can sell you a bag. And he presents like this small bag, and it's got like writing on it that you don't understand. And he goes, it's very good, my friend.
Sure. I'm
He'll-
sure my yeah. So sure.
He'll pick it up and he'll put it inside